whole project just an excuse to get me to clean up your garage for you?
God willing, the creek don't rise. When Josh gets here, we'll be ready to go.
Oh, I thought we were Jeep Geeks.
Oh, Jeep Geeks. Yeah, Jeep Geeks. That's right. Nothing happened. Everything was fine. Well, the Jeep ended up being towed back to the house. I took it to the dealership. They ended up changing a fuse. And...
You didn't check the fuses?
Good Jesus Christ.
I assume that is all of our good luck for the rest of the year. This is the winch.
How do you know that it's a winch?
It floats. Listen, I've never had any complaints. It grinds everything I need it to grind. Pretty new at this.
What? I really want a Jeep Gladiator.
This is the holy Gladiator. It is your sacred task to seek this Gladiator.
We're in fact going to double our fleet.
Fleet Geeks!
Too old and fat for this, Josh. Whose idea was this? In the box. No, in the box. In the box. Tell me what's in the box!
Put your tools in that box, then you open the box. That's the way you fix a Jeep.
So you still singing?
He's got to attach the winch from underneath. It's got nuts that are trapped, locked in the bottom.
These nuts.
Yeah.
Which nuts?
These nuts.
These nuts?
These
nuts.
We've been going back and forth about how to mount the solenoid. See, the winch way as it comes from the factory, you can just turn it on and off right here at the bumper. There's nothing that, it's wired straight to the battery. Warren makes this solenoid, or they sell it, so you can turn it on and off from inside the cab using a momentary switch. But I want to be able to disable the winch so people just don't come around and screw with my winch in a parking lot or whatever. So Josh made this bracket out of a simple piece of aluminum angle iron and then, really dolled it up a little bit, so it looks really nice. And then the solenoid will mount here like that. We're just trying to figure out the best orientation for the solenoid for the wires. That's what we're doing right now, is just figuring that out.
Did that help?
So for now, all three of us have done that. We've figured out an efficiency that we hadn't thought about before. And if you want me to go into the math on this later, I can, but...
I was told there would be no math.
So, this is pretty Haas wire. It'll carry a lot of current. The winch is on number 4 wire, which is about half the size of this. And the compressor is on even smaller wire. What I realized is that I could just run this from the battery to the solenoid and piggyback from that to the compressor. So it's not switched by the solenoid, but it's picking out the same terminal, and then from the other side of the solenoid to the winch. And what that all meant was I could just use the stock winch power line without taking the winch half apart, and now I'll be able to cut back on how much I have to do for the compressor for its power lines, because it's only going to have to come up and over and not go all the way around to the battery. There are going to be people that will argue that this is not the smartest way to go. I did the math. It's fine.
Math isn't real.
Right. I know.
I don't know if you've looked online.
Well, look. We all have our own truths. The odds of me ever having the compressor and winch on at the same time are I say they're approaching zero. And we're going to be adding a pressure tank before we do the lockers. My truth may be different than your truth. We learned that from the last administration.
Yes, let's alienate half of our YouTube
Well, I was
audience.
going to say, do not think that for 1 minute that we're going to not be honest about our political leanings. All three of us are left of center. If y'all haven't picked up already, there are 2 of us that are Jewish here, and one was Jewish not so many generations back. We are the liberal intelligentsia elite.
That's the liberals. They want to get you in a dungeon. They want to strap you down and take a buzzsaw and cut the top of your head off like a pumpkin and pull it off. I love Satan!
You're a motherfucking communist bastard.
Okay, I think you just demonetized our channel.
Bumper came with a lot of optional holes. I'm plugging holes with bolts. Do you think I should use Loctite on these things so they don't ever rattle out?
No, I think they should rattle as much as possible. It's an American car. Who's getting fired? I'm not getting paid. How could I get fired?
That's a valid point. I'm not getting paid either. Is this going to be one of those things where there's a blooper reel for every episode? Like if
I think this is going to be 90% blooper reel.
Yeah, for there to be a blooper reel, there has to be like actual quality content. Scott 5.
So we made the bracket out of a piece of angle aluminum, and that is going to fit right here. The hot leads from the battery, and then from the winch.
This is what we call high amperage and low amperage. These two leads are switched on and off by these two leads. There's a magnet in here. These turn the magnet on and off. So the heavy cable goes through here, and then a lighter cable goes through here. These will get connected to one of my switches in the Switch Pro module. Yeah, this goes to the battery, and then the lead for the winch goes here. In addition, we're going to also use this terminal to send power down to the compressor, we hope. Today, Josh managed to machine up and mount this Fairlead adapter plate. For those of you who don't know, this is a Fairlead, and this is for nylon rope winches, and basically it provides a smooth surface for the nylon to rub against so it doesn't fray. On steel cable winches, they have rollers instead. And we got the winch in place with 2 bolts. We got to get the other 2 in place. And we figured out the wiring. Still haven't figured out all the wiring for the solenoid, which you can see mounted now, by the way.
Before we went and did all the fancy wiring, we would be doing a hot test.
Yeah, I ran the neutral to the neutral bus, and I hot wired it, which is actually, if I weren't using the solenoid, how this would be wired. This remote is designed to also be run Bluetooth. You don't have to use the cable. So if you're inside the cab operating it, once it's Bluetooth connected, you can run it that way. But so I'm gonna try to pull it in now. Out. Yep. Goes out. And once I get the wiring done, there'll be a cool thing for us. We're gonna do a cool thing. You have to tension your line, and the way we do that is we literally hook that thing up around a tree. It's actually kind of cool. It's so brute force. I love it. If you buy this new right now, it's about $980, give or take. I bought this as an open box when it arrived. I said it was only $600 something. It had never left the bag, and the only thing wrong was there was a tear in 1/4 of the box. So I consider this the biggest win of the Jeep. Josh really brought a level of artistry to the bracket making that I wasn't expecting. This turned out, I'm proud for this to be on my bumper. So I had Josh sign the back of it for me. Because this, believe it or not, we've been friends since we were 11 or 12. This is the first thing he's ever made for me. I'm confident that tomorrow we'll be able to start the day doing compressor work. We are Geeks, and this is a Jeep.
Quiet on the set.
He's not on the set.
Did you talk to your neighbor about not doing leaf blowing during shooting? We should list our project on Go.
This course now requires that I get my fat ass off the floor.
Better him than me.
Most amazing instructions I've ever seen. It fits so beautifully.
Why do it when you can overdo it?
There's a zip tie gun.
Cheap Geeks brand lady zip ties.
We screwed up.
We didn't screw up.
All better.
I figured out an electrical thing.
This sucker's not nuclear. This sucker's electrical.
Our negative wire is about 6 inches short. Safety third. Josh wants me to squish a pumpkin.
Like, this is an amazing idea.
We couldn't just leave the pumpkin on the driveway.
Pie.
Tire pie.
Tire pie.